Good day. You know, usually you have to create a wet ball day. Sometimes you go through camp and never get rain like that when you can practice because lightning usually knocks you out. It was really good to get out here in the rain because you play in the rain. And you got to learn to take care of the ball, which for the most part I liked it. Some balls went through your hands and catches you got to learn to catch. You got to use your body sometimes more. Throw it in the rain. Snap it in the rain. And then on defense, you don't think about it. Some of the best days to throw the football are wet days because defense can't rush. That defensive line can't rush as fast because it's slick. Or as a DB, you got to be careful and put your foot in the ground and not slip and give up a play. But, it was a really good day to get out here in the rain and practice. The guys had good enthusiasm, practiced hard, and got a lot done. Any questions?
Watson, Stork, are they good? Or?
Yeah, they'll probably go tomorrow. Stork got a little jam on his neck, and Watson had a little stinger. We give him 2 days there to go. They're supposed to, what the trainer told me today, they should be able to go tomorrow. That's what the plan is. I mean, it's nothing, or just typical 2-a-day things.
You're about, I guess, 12 days away now. Mm-hmm. Do you have that right tackle job?
No, I mean, not all the way. I mean, Watson, he got nicked there a couple of days, but he's been doing some good things. Glauser's doing some really good things. Those two feel very comfortable with either one of them there, though, right now.
It's Stork at center?
Yes, Stork at center and with Barron. Both those guys doing a good job. See, that's what I say. We're able to keep practicing. Now our depth is getting so much better. Now, it used to be you have a nick like this, man, it'd be Katie bar the door. And it feel a lot better about that now.
How about Jacoby? Have you made any determination on what
he'll most likely be redshirted. I think it's going to take it just his leg where the healing is. He's out working, doing everything, but I don't think he'll be ready for game action. And that's the good thing. He's got another year, and we'll probably redshirt him.
He said he'd be open if halfway through the year. If there was a depth issue.
He would be, but we ought to have that, and I don't think that would be fair to him. But that's the kind of guy Jacoby is. That's the kind of guy Jacoby is. That's what it looks like now. It'd be heading that way. Things can always change, but you never know.
How's the AMP's injury coming along?
Who? He's actually healing good. I mean, he's right on track. So hopefully around that first game week, or it should be right at 3 weeks. That should be right it, and that's when the time they kind of give us. And they're very happy with his progress so far. He's doing a great job with his rehab too. He's been going 2 or 3 times a day.
With Jacoby, is that a tough situation or a tough conversation to have with him? Because I'm sure he wants to get out there.
No, he does, but I think he also appreciates that, as a senior, and you got giving him that opportunity. That's some things about when you're not redshirted early that you do have that luxury. If you do get injured later in your career, that it could save you and get you that extra year. And I mean, he wants to play. There's no doubt. I don't mean that, but he understands, and he's doing a tremendous job as a leader for these young guys.
He's had to play hurt earlier in his career. Would you like him to have one season where he could come in and help?
Exactly, and I don't think he'd quite be ready, especially early to the middle of the year anyway. And you got to give him that full year, and we should have enough depth there to be able to do that.
How has Terrence Brooks looked at safety in your
I think he's played solid. Plays been solid. I mean, he's learning, and that safety, you get a lot of calls, and we're giving him a lot of formations and things. But for the most part, he seems to be doing a pretty nice job.
He seemed like a guy last year when he got in, and it
he
wasn't
was productive.
all the time. He made plays.
He did.
Out, didn't he?
He did. But it's still different when you become a starter. There's a different responsibility of how you prepare. Not as a backup, you don't. But I'm just saying that's a different added pressure, and I think that's something new they got to go through. But been very pleased the way he's handled it so far.
How about Marvin Bracey?
Getting back in the groove. Getting back in the groove. We give him a little reverse today. It's amazing how fast you can run when you're scared to death. I tell them, that ain't no baton in your hand now. They want it. They're going to take it away from you. No, he's doing good. He gradually for the last, I guess, 5 practices, something like that. Don't quote me on exactly, but I mean it's somewhere in that. He's been out doing a nice job, and you can and when he's knowing what to do now, you can see that speed when he does get going.
Is he even at full speed yet? Do you think?
Nah, I say 7/8.
Still pretty quick for
Ain't
everybody
bad.
else.
Pretty quick.
Punt return still pretty open. I mean, I know there was 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, there was, but I would say probably Rashad probably be the head of the pack right now. But those other guys do a good job catching it too. Darby's really doing some nice things. Kenny Shaw catches it really well. He's caught it in games before and done a good job. So I like the way they're going. But I'd say Rashad would probably be the leading candidate right now. But we'll wait and see.
You mentioned last week that maybe Xavier was coming along a little bit slower than you had first thought. Is he kind of back to where you expect him to be? Or?
I mean, he's not 100% right now, but he made some nice plays today. He's moving better, moving around, and getting back and playing good.
Without Greg here, he's obviously the veteran among those quarterbacks. Do you think he's kind of adapted to that role a little bit, taking on a little bit more?
Yes, doing a great job in leadership. And not just in here in the meeting room, off the field, and a bunch of places. He's doing a really nice job in his leadership.
If you look at his production from last year, look like his numbers overall were down a little bit. Is that him being tested less, or?
I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of things. I mean, a lot of times we got a lot more sacks too. We're doing a good job stopping the run, making some sacks. maybe throwing it the other way. I don't know exactly. He didn't have as productive a year, but sometimes production at a corner. I was like, how many Revis is considered the best corner in ball. He gets about 4 picks a year because no one throws at it. But now, I don't know if that's the case altogether. But he'll have a good year, hopefully.
When you talked about the wet ball, what's the key? Is it concentration or what?
I think the one is just accepting it and not using it as a crutch. I mean, that's the first thing. It's an attitude. And I used to look at it as a quarterback, and I say that it was offense advantage. We knew where we were going, so we stuck our foot in the ground. It was a lot easier on defense. One slip, one slide. When you rush the passer, they got to be careful because those linemen now get a hand on you, they slide. But I think the first thing is a mentality to play in the rain. You know what I'm saying? And understand that it's an advantage for you. You either say, "Oh God, it's raining," or you say, "Oh, it's raining." You know what I mean? And getting it, we can hold it. But it is a focus and concentration deal. And there's a couple little things when you're trying to keep 2 hands on it in the pocket more when you're a quarterback. Maybe at times you may have to body catch a ball in a pocket, not in your pads, but have a pocket catch it instead of let it slide through your hands. You know what I mean? There's a little art to some things you got to do to catch it.
Not the stereotype, but just sometimes receivers, you worry about them more just because they're not usually seen as the, you
do. But I mean, after early come out here, about the first 4 or 5 minutes, but we had balls going through hands. Then they got used to it, and then we started talking about the body, and they adapted, and then ended up making some pretty nice plays. And defense, I thought some of the defensive guys moved. I didn't see a lot of slipping and falling down. You know what I mean? Which was very encouraging. And that's where your technique and what you do, you got to be in whatever position you're at. You got to be very technique sound when you're like that.